Good morning.
Good morning.
Welcome to this service of the Unitarian Universalist Church of Amherst. We are so glad you have chosen to spend this time with us. We know you have many options and obligations on any Sunday, and we are grateful to have you here. My name is Marlana Rice, and I started in this congregation about 43 years ago now, and I started by helping out making tea, a coffee, and now look where I am. You can be here too one day. Our minister, Reverend Michelle Buhite, is off this week, and our speaker is going to be April Starr. And would you like to introduce yourself, April, later? She's going to do that later. For those gathered in the chapel, please turn off your phones completely to ensure that our online congregation is able to participate without disruption. Turning off phones means that you are also less likely to experience sound issues in this space. That feedback stuff. We also have assisted hearing devices at the usher stations at the back of the chapel for those in need. And soon that will be me. If it happens, guys. If you're new to Unitarian Universalism or to this particular congregation, I invite you to relax and participate as fully as you are comfortable with. You're welcome to move when we move or remain seated. We trust that you know what to do that is right for your body and your spirit. In this space and in person online, there are many identities. Not everyone experiences the world in the same way or necessarily believes the same things in this congregation. What matters is that we keep love at the center of who we are. And we value each of you. Whoever you are, wherever you come from, whomever you love, you are welcome here. Let's gather ourselves together as we open our hearts this morning in song. And if you'd like to stand, please do. Katy Moriarty is going to sing a wonderful welcoming song. Stand it up, guys. You'll know this song.
In this special service of exploring music, the mind, the brain, how we respond, I invite you to remember what it felt like learning this tune as a child. Put your fingers together. The itsy bitsy spider crawled up the water spout. Down came the rain and washed the spider out. Out came the sun and dried up all the rain. And the itsy bitsy spider crawled up the spout again.
You may be seated now. Wasn't that a good experience? I just had to see you all standing. Sorry. I had the option of standing or sitting. I chose standing. You're welcome. And now a poem by Elizabeth Bishop. The title is I Am in Need of Music. I am in need of music that would flow over my fretful feeling fingertips, over my bitter, tainted, trembling lips with melody deep, clear, and liquid slow. Oh, for the healing, swaying, old and low of some song sung to rest the tired dead. A song to fall like water on my head and over quivering limbs, dream flushed to glow. There is a magic made by melody, a spell of rest and quiet breath and cool heart that sank through fading colors deep to the subaqueous stillness of the sea and floats forever like a moon-green pool held in the arms of rhythm and of sleep. And now we're going to have our land acknowledgement with Brianne and Leanne and water rising. And winter rising, I'm sorry, winter. I apologize for that. Each week when we gather, we begin with a land acknowledgement. This is a right. We honor our connection to the earth and to offer our gratitude to the only planet in the whole universe that can create and sustain us. And now we will pour. We pour this libation to symbolize our commitment to care for this precious home of our spirits, to speak and act on behalf of the earth, and to seek to partner with those who are indigenous to this place, that we and our ancestors may also bless and be blessed. It is also our custom when we gather to light a chalice. The chalice is a cup or vessel that symbolizes the gathered community and is the symbol of our Unitarian Universalist faith. So please join me in our chalice lighting words. We gather this hour as people of faith with joys and sorrows, gifts and needs. We light this beacon of hope, sign of our quest for truth and meaning in celebration of the life we share together. Thank you very much, Winter and moms. Now we'll have our gathering music. You're not going to need much help with this. It's called The Beatles' Help. The words to our gathering music are going to be found in the slides, and of course you may not need to use them, but please do if you like. Let's rise in body and spirit and sing with gusto. Our voices in this song. Help, Katy Moriarty.
Help, I need somebody, help, not just anybody, help, you know I need someone, help. When I was younger, so much younger than today, never needed anybody's help in any way, but now those days are gone, I'm not so self-assured. Now I'm fine to change my mind, open up the door. Help me if you can, I'm feeling down. And I do appreciate you being round. Help me get my feet back on the ground. Won't you please, please help me? And now my life has changed in oh so many ways. My independence seemed to vanish in the haze. But every now and then I feel so insecure. Know that I need your light I've never done before. Help me if you can, I'm feeling down. And I do appreciate you being round. Help me get my feet back on the ground. Won't you please, please help me, help me, help me.
It is our custom at this time in the service to acknowledge the joys, concerns, and sorrows, and the other realities that we bring with us, affirming that every single bit of who we are can be held in this container of love. We embody this by placing a stone or a shell on one of the shared labyrinth tables. We have two in front, one right here and one over there, and one in the back for those who don't want to be on the video. This is the video one. That's not so much. Just in case you want to know. This is an invitation to bring your whole self here. And now I ask you to come forward as you will and place a stone or shell on one of the labyrinths, if you wish. I place the final stone in recognition of the joys, concerns, and sorrows, and other realities of those who chose not to come forward and for those online. You are embraced in this community. And now I think it is time for, let's see, where am I? Yes! Ah, we knew. It is. It is time. Sun, sun, Mr. Golden Sun. Sun, sun, Mr. Golden Sun, please shine down on me, shine down on, please shine down on me. Thank you, kids.
Am I okay? That'll wake you up. Not yet, you gotta wait. Okay, good morning. Sorry about your eardrums. So it is time, as you saw the excitement, for the Wonder Box. And somebody has been promised that they could open the Wonder Box today, and they are very excited. It's most likely Quinn. Would you like to open the Wonder Box today? Okay, and would you two like to tell me what those are? Music notes. I don't know what kind of note it is, but you know what these notes are. So, can anyone guess what service is about today? Music, yes, great guess. So, did you know that inside our bodies, we have a whole choir of voices? And when we're listening to our bodies, all of our inner voices harmonize. Do you know what that means to harmonize? Is anybody paying attention? Harmonize is like all together, okay. And when they work together, they kind of make magical sounds, right? It sounds really good. And sometimes when our inner voices clash, we can feel things like confusion, sadness, anger, and more. So as we settle into this Sunday's service on music, let us welcome each one of our voices in time. I know, that's very impressive. Can you take a seat right there and you're gonna help me sing, okay? Like we talked about. No, you gotta sit down. Sure. There's a lot of compromise in my life. So first we call on our soprano voice. So I'm gonna hum, I'm not a singer, it's your fair warning. I'm gonna hum a soprano noise, ready? All right, let's hum. So soprano is a higher voice, a higher note. So let's all hum a higher note together. Can you say it for me? Thank you. Okay, so our soprano voice reminds us of the highs of life, the things that make us soar, the positives, the goals that we reach for, anything up above us, keeping us nice and bright and warm. And next we call upon our alto voice. So our alto voice sounds a little like, can everyone hum an alto voice for me? Oh, wow. That sounded nice. So our alto voice is the part of us that flows beneath the surface. So all that is happy to assist us, support us, and that makes life more interesting by being different. And then we call upon our tenor voice. This is where it gets a little tricky for me. Not yet. So our tenor voice is the part of us that feels complex. So that's the part we tap into when we're not sure what to do, when we want to figure out what feels right and what feels wrong, when something feels a little complicated or scary. And lastly, here you go, Jackson. This is the bass voice. Can you do it? If you've ever seen Finding Nemo, I like to think of the sharks in Finding Nemo. That's how the Dory voice. Hello, I'm a humpback whale. No Finding Nemo fans in here? All right, that's what I get for improving. So all of our parts of our voice, when they harmonize, we feel balanced, we feel calm, we feel able to make decisions, we are able to see our goals and know what's right and wrong. And sometimes they get out of whack and we can use our voices, even just a simple humming or listening to music, and kind of align ourselves to feel a little bit more balanced. So how about everybody pick their favorite voice? You don't have to say it, but everyone hum whatever range felt good to them. I'm gonna pick alto. All right, ready? I don't know if you could hear it, but Quinn picked the bird voice. Yes, it's higher than soprano. It made a perfect harmony up here. All right, so let us take all of our voices and head to Faith Development for some music activities.
now we get to have Kathy Moriarty once more for our musical interlude. Yay is right.
Sweet. That's very sweet. Stretch, he says. Stretch, he said. We hardly change from who we really are. Causes us pain when the world rolls on. Stretch, he said. Sure, there's a time when we must stay still. It's not about rushing after anyone or anything. We weep our tears and let them dry when they will. Stretch, he said. It will be a quiet truth on a quiet day. Something like soft rain. We hardly need to change from who we really are. We only have to love how the world rolls on. Stretch, he said. Stretch, he said. Thank you.
Thank you, Kathy. And now we're going to do a responsive reading. It is going to be up here. I will do the regular text and you will do the italics. And it is called The Music of the Spheres by Ernesto Cardenal. The Music of the Spheres. It's not up there? Okay. And you will read the second. I'll start again. The music of the spheres. A harmonious, no, it's not up there? Okay, well, turn to page In the blue, in the hymnal, number 532, please. I will give you a moment. This is a chill congregation. I just FYI for those who are new. I came in here and I just felt, yeah, this is my place. Again, it's number 532, except I can't sing. So thank you, Kathy, and all those of you who can sing. Those who know me know that I am, as a friend, dear friend once said, I'm a one-note wonder, and I can't still find that one note. So I back away when it's singing time. You'll see me over here, mouthing the words, and then I talk. Speaking, no problem. Singing, Okay, are we all at 532? And I will do the non-italicized, and then you will do the italicized, and we are off and running. 162, the music of the spheres. 532. Yes, I taught mathematics for 30 years. And I have this thing that I switch numbers around all the time. One time, a girl said, Mrs. Rice, I think you put my grade in the book wrong. It was you put in 29 and it was a 92. Oh, sorry. Yeah, that's a mistake. Kids are smart. Thank God. Okay, here we go again. 5, 3, 2. Sounds like countdown. The music of the spheres. The music of the spheres. Its rhythms are the equal repeated ceases, are equal, yeah. The beating of the heart. The cycle of stars and corn. The mimosa of the unfolding. Rhythms of moon and tide. One single rhythm in planet Adam's sea. Melody, accord, arpeggios, the harp of the universe. Unity behind apparent multiplicity. That is the music. And now April Starr will give you our sermon, we call it. April?
Good morning. Good morning. As Marlana said, I'm April Starr. My preferred pronouns are they and she. And I'm just going to quickly introduce myself because we are a blessedly growing congregation. And newer people might be familiar with my face and may have heard my name taken in vain, but might not know much about me past that. So when I arrived at UU Amherst in May of 2025 with my spouse, John, I quickly jumped into activities like singing and music ministry and vegetable gardening and being a member of the Rainbow Coalition and helping with the Rainbow Cafe every month. Because I've been at UU for a while, and I also lived in a place of social isolation for a while. So I was really ready to jump in and have connection when I came here. In March, the board hired me as the bookkeeper for the church. So I also, track what's happening with our money from day to day. In my professional life, I've worked in mental health and nonprofit since 2002, spending a lot of my time as an organizational leader, an organizational developer, and then transitioning to be a psychotherapist about 10 years ago. Since I'm going to be talking to you guys about neuroscience and wellness today, I'm going to give you a rundown on my credentials that are relevant to this moment, just so you know who's throwing this stuff at you. So I have a master's degree in systemic psychology, and I'm a licensed and marital family therapist in Oklahoma. I'm not licensed in New York, and I'm not practicing here, and the New York LMFT statutes require me to tell you that. I also have about 100 hours. This is really relevant today. I have about 100 hours of postgraduate certifications. The only first two I'm going to tell you about in that letter soup that's on the third line is I'm a certified neuropsychotherapist. I'm also certified in a recent and innovative treatment framework called Neural Desensitization and Integration Training, NDIT. And it's also very neuropsychologically based. So, in simpler terms, this just means that I have a greater understanding of brain anatomy and functioning and how it creates dysfunctional experiences than the average psychotherapist does. And in practice, it was allowed me to assess people and meet the needs of my clients in a very efficient way, because my practice was more like what you might consider physical therapy for the brain, and then also talk therapy as needed when we got to a place where talk therapy would work. And that just allowed me to really meet people where they were based on their feedback and what was going on in their experience. So now that you've learned a little bit about me, you're gonna learn a little bit more about me. In my adulthood, my early adulthood, I was very professionally motivated and also very personally troubled. I struggled with almost zero boundary skills, and my relationships had a tendency to become very high drama very quickly because I had an inability to protect myself from other people who were very dysfunctional themselves, and to include my own birth family. And of course, all of this lack of boundary skills was because I learned none in my birth family. So I led a pretty distressing life in a lot of ways for a lot of years. But currently, I look back and think, I was so much less emotionally dysregulated than I am even now in my life. Like, how was I not just a complete emotional mess the whole time? How was I functioning? And a lot of it goes back to how much I was singing and dancing and drumming all of the time in my life. So those of you who do know me are probably about to find out something even more you didn't know. This is me in 2008, dancing and drumming at a Renaissance fair in Texas with an amateur belly dance troupe. A year after this, these pictures were taken. I went into professional belly dancing. Oh, there it goes. Uh-oh, I hope I didn't forward too much. Nope, it's behaving. Awesome. So here you see me belly dancing. Ron, this is for you, sir. In these 3 pictures of me belly dancing, I am wearing a pair of Zildjian brand 3.5-inch finger cymbals. Just so you, Ron's a percussionist. This is relevant to him. So for a solid 10 years of my life, I was dancing my buns off, doing a lot of drumming. And also, during this time, I was what I call a musical mercenary, despite the fact that I was a witch and a traditional spirit worker. I spent a lot of my time getting paid to cantor in Catholic Church. So singing for hire. So I did a lot of singing and dancing and drumming all of the time. And all of that kind of came to an end in 2016 for some personal reasons I won't share. But it's been 10 years now of me fighting PTSD that set in from my childhood and just tough life circumstances and really not being super regulated a lot of that time. And wondering, why am I just not as regulated as I once was? Yeah, because I stopped doing a lot of the activities that I was doing every day to keep myself regulated. And at the time, I had no idea what that was doing for my nervous system and my experience. So, this is what we know from all of our recent science and our recent imaging studies in the last 20 years or so, is that we have always regulated best when we are doing specific activities together: dancing, drumming, singing, swaying, holding hands, looking into each other's eyes, and sitting around a fire. All of our kind of oldest group activities as humans have always helped regulate our nervous systems and bring us a calm and connected experience. In recent years, this is that we know all of this is because we've just been able to monitor what's happening in the nervous system actively, like with things like functional MRI, since about 2000. We've just learned so much about what's going on in the body when we're either stressed and not calm, or when we are calm, and what it looks like when we shift between those states. So one thing that we know is that singing vibrates your face and your throat, right here and right here, which stimulates various branches of the vagus nerve, which is when we stimulate the vagus nerve in various areas of the body using touch and pressure, the vagus nerve will activate our parasympathetic or relaxation response. That also, when we start into that state, we begin to be able to actually feel connected to people and actually interrelate with people in a functional way and not interrelate with people in a dysfunctional way. It really contributes to calm. And then also, a big deal with singing is that we control our breath when we sing. Some of us who are trained control it very intentionally, but even when you're not trained and you're not controlling it intentionally, you are controlling your breath. And what happens is our diaphragm closes down on a portion of the vagus nerve that is called the celiac plexus, but it's a big lacy part of it that goes around our abdominal aorta. And when we do breath work, or when we sing and we control our breath, our diaphragm really stimulates that part of the vagus nerve, and it brings us a lot of calm. So here are some fun facts of things that we know about ourselves as humans and co-regulating. Co-regulation actually begins with attunement. So attunement is when your nervous system recognizes another nervous system and begins to mimic it. We do this largely through a brain process that's called mirroring. And that happens in the kind of frontotemporal parietal region right up here just above and in front of your ears. And we have neurons that are specifically do this, called mirror neurons. And when we watch someone else have an emotional experience, the mirror neurons allow us to recreate that experience within our brain. So obviously, this is a function that's one that's of the functions that's really essential to empathy. So for example, we know from brain studies that psychopathic brains show a lowered mirror neuron activity when they watch other people's emotions. Just an example. But it's very important for attuning. This is what helps us to be able to attune with other nervous systems, are the mirror neurons. So once we attune to others, then we can start co-regulating with them. And so if you've ever wondered why you are not affected by watching someone else's emotions at some point, it's not because you're a nasty person with no empathy. It's probably because you're not attuned to that person in that moment. And so it's a little more difficult for you to actually jump on that emotion train with them. So here's the good news is you attune with someone, you start co-regulating with them, you may feel better. The bad news is, guys, you could attune with someone who's not in a good place and start feeling worse with them. We do this too as humans. So co-regulation is not like, when we talk about attunement and co-regulation, they're not like some wonderful, magical, always positive function in our brains. Like every function in our brains, it can be good or bad. And so it's very good to be aware of that. So all of this was kind of discovered. So why did we start looking at this? Because we had observations watching particularly PTSD group treatment and realizing that people were recovering from PTSD faster in group treatment. And so scientists wanted to know why. And so we started researching co-regulation in groups is what this led to. And that's why we know so much more about it. And one thing that we know from researching groups for a while now is that the group activities that promote the most co-regulation are time and well-being. The well-being part, that's what we want to focus on, right? Yeah, we want the well-being part. Is synchronous, repetitive, and bilaterally stimulating activities. So when I say bilateral stimulation, I'm talking about using body parts on alternating sides of your body. So dancing, drumming, and swaying side to side, yeah, are like all of those things, right? So we've also discovered from studies that partnered and improvisational dances are the best activity to maintain cognitive health and prevent dementia. So like, yeah, square dancing is one example. Tango is another example of partnered and improvisational dance. And connected to my story, belly dance is also traditionally improvisational when you perform it solo. And also there's a style of belly dance called American tribal style that is an example of group improvisational dance. So when you choose group or partnered improvisational dance, you're really getting kind of maximum benefits of well-being from dance. So one of the common differences between a hobbyist belly dancer and a professional belly dancer in Minot dance is that a professional belly dancer, as part of your job, is to learn the party culture and the dance culture of each of the people who hire you. And after you perform, your job is to get the guests up, to get them to party and have a good time and to dance with them for a while. And group improvisational dance is huge in Middle Eastern, North African, Turkish, and Hellenic cultures, which belly dance comes from. And so I've had the privilege of joyously being able to dance with a lot of different cultures in my life. So we're going to see a few videos now I'm going to show you some examples and talk about some of the things that are going on in the video that promote co-regulation. So the first one we're going to look at is Lebanese debke. And debke is a pretty old dance in all Levantine cultures. So that's like Lebanon, Jordan, Syria. These are all, the first one you'll see is a Lebanese festival. And then there's a couple of videos from weddings. Some things for you to note is that you'll see that there is a leader, and the leader of the line does improvisation. And sometimes the second and third people in line will join that person in improvisation, and the rest of the line is holding the beat for everyone. You'll also notice people moving back and forth. There's a lot of side to side. And you'll notice that there are groups around them, sometimes moving to hold the beat as well, and sometimes just holding space. As you guys know, we talk about holding space in here if you don't feel like actively participating. Yes, Les is going to go again. So you see the young man up front is doing something different. He's improvising. Oh, and this gentleman. Yeah, the next two leaders are awesome. Note all of the family all around them. And they're all keeping the beat. They're all going side to side. I'll address that in a second. So they always, you're either twirling beads or they're twirling a hanky, as you saw that last guy. That's just, this is the signal for everyone to get up in debkas. People get up in line and the leader grabs a napkin. So why are there only women? I would challenge that and tell you the first video, there were absolutely women up dancing. It just depends on the family and the setting. Also, I would point out in the second video, all of the people crowded around, still dancing, just not in the main line, were mixed. It was everybody. So, I would also tell you that I'm in a female body and I danced debka with Lebanese folks and Syrian folks and Jordanese folks on the regular. These just happen to have, the 2 second videos just happen to have all guys in the line. And that's probably just a family thing. Yep. And then, sorry, the next one, is it going? Oh, the next one we're going to look at Greek sirtaki, and you'll notice there's some slight differences. They don't form into a circle. They form into stacked lines, which is also really common in social dances. Now, one thing that's interesting to note about all these social dances is just like the Greek sirtaki, which this one is in particular is called Zorba the Greek, start slow and get really fast, and everyone gets faster and faster together. And the fun thing about Zorba is that there is a kind of not quite improvisational. It's a choreographed opening, and then they switch into a standard footwork right there that everybody just knows. And yes, we have social dances like this in the US as well. I'm sure people have seen lots of different line dancing. Mostly we call it line dancing here in the US. This is just one of my, you know how many different American line dances could I've picked from? A lot. Fun facts, most of the line dances that we do in the United States are based on the electric slide, which was originally created by the African American community. So yeah, y'all even doing country line dances, it started with our Black communities here. And this one is Boots on the Ground, is kind of a recent one, like last 10 years, and it's just super fun, super fun. This is my favorite. And you'll notice, although everyone has same base movements, there's lots of improvisation going on. And they're even synchronizing themselves with the fans, with props. So you guys can see lots of different examples, you know, kind of from around the world of people using dance, beat. I would argue that the fans are almost kind of, they're not exactly like drumming, but it's kind of like drumming. We're using an instrument also to help attune, give us another synchronous experience, and to get us co-regulating together. So now we're going to do a little bit of exercise. How can we use this in our everyday life? Well, obviously, you guys can look for ways to get involved in group dancing, group singing, and group drumming. We do some of that already at the church, guys. I mean, we literally sing together every day that we're here, right? We have drumming circles that various people host throughout the year here. So I would encourage you, if you've never shown up for any of the drum circles, think about it. They're really good for you neurologically, even if you don't feel like you're that crunchy of a person, you know. Just give it a shot. So now I'm going to do your favorite thing that Reverend Michelle does, and I'm going to have you participate. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to give some instructions up front so that we all kind of know what's going to happen and we can feel calm and secure and decide how much each of us wants to participate. So first of all, I'd like you to take a moment, close your eyes or let them rest downwards, and just so that you can focus on your internal experience and just check in with yourself, either from head to toe, or maybe just sit in that core of your body for a moment and see how you're feeling this morning. And decide if you feel like this is a good morning for you to try to attune and co-regulate with the people around you, or not. Okay, and let's just take a big deep breath. In and out slowly, both through the nose. Great. Okay, so here come the real instructions. So we are going to get up if you are able to. If you are not, I'd love for people to stay with the folks who don't feel like rising and moving in this moment, so that they have, if they wish to have someone next to them. And if you're able to get up and move, I'd like people to move together where we can be close enough to hold hands, if you're comfortable with that. And if you're not comfortable with holding hands, try to stand at least, within a couple of feet of someone. We are going to sing in a song that we all know well. And sorry, Greg, I'm popping this on you. See if you can find the music. There. Oh. Come, whoever you are. Yeah. Yeah. And if you can't find it, we know this one. We can sing it a cappella, guys. Am I right? Come, whoever you are. Yeah.
One of the hymnals.
So what we're going to do is we're going to get up. We're going to hold hands. And as we sing, come, whoever you are, we are going to sway back and forth across the midline, left to right. Yeah. Ron and Kim are already just getting it up here. Get it, guys. Love it. How are you feeling already? You've been rocking. Feeling good? They're feeling good. Okay.
Well, somebody's got to start. Oh, found it. Yep.
Hey! Hooray, Greg. Okay. Here we go. Okay, now when you get back to your seat, I want you to do the same thing we did at the beginning and check in and just take a moment and see if you feel any different in your embodied experience. Okay, great. And the last thing I'm going to say before I skedaddle out of here is I'd like you guys to note that at the end of service every time when we twinkle at each other, that sneaky Reverend Michelle is getting us to tune with each other. That's literally, she's getting us to like try to connect eyes across the aisles, totally trying to encourage us to feel connected to each other. All right, thanks.
So appreciate that, April. I learned a lot. And now there'll be a song and response, and it will be sung by Ron Kanazi, and it is called Young at Heart, and it will be a solo song.
It's an old Frank Sinatra tune. I'm sure you've probably heard of it. I just thought I could say a few words here, and I'm interested in this sermon because it kind of explains. Music's always been kind of transcendent to me. I can actually get tingles up and down my spine when I hear certain chord patterns. People think I'm kind of crazy, but I guess that's the sympathetic nervous system and the neurotransmitters in the brain and all that stuff. And was a little kid, I would break into song, and my parents would drive me nuts, you know. I just hear things on the radio. And remember the earliest musical experience I had was Mom and me are alone. My father's at work. My brother's several years older. He's in school, and I playing around with this old Westinghouse radio. It was taller than it's wider back in the spring of '56, and I should hear Elvis Presley singing Heartbreak Hotel. It scared me because the slapback, the dissonant chord, and the blues chord, the slapback echo, it must have reminded me of something like, you know, a ghost story or a big bad wolf or something. So I run into the kitchen. Mommy, there's a boogeyman in the radio. My mother said, "What are you crazy?" She listens for a second. Says, "Oh, that's just somebody trying to sing." Really? And I imagine parents all over the United States were thinking that. Is that guy singing? You know? Anyways, that's my earliest musical. In fact, one of my earliest memories of any guy. I could go in. I don't want to take too much time before I sing here, but I got actually sent to the principal's office for singing the turnaround or the bridge in a eminently forgettable song by the Playmates called What Is Love. It went something like, sways with the wiggle when she walked. We're talking about ponytail, but the principal and the first grade teacher did not understand that. They called my home and said, you know, you're singing a dirty song. And it's I kid you not. Anyway, so I don't want to take much more time, but why do I do this? Why do I want to do this at this late date? I haven't played professionally in 8 years. I guess it's because, are you ready, Mr. Music? It makes me feel young at heart. Okay. Are you ready? Fairy tales can come true, it can happen to you when you're young at heart. But it's hard to find to be narrow of mind when you're young at heart. You can go to extremes with impossible dreams. You can laugh when your schemes fall apart at the seams. Life is more exciting with each passing day. Love is either in your heart or on its way. Don't you know that it's worth every pleasure on earth to be young at heart? For as rich as you are, it's much better by far to be young at heart. And if you should should survive to 105. Just think all you can derive on just being alive. But here is the best part, you've got a head start. If you are among the very young and high, little trumpet solo sounds like Louis Armstrong. You can picture it when I hear this solo. Trumpet up the sky, pumping up his cheeks, and loose. I'll play another. Don't you know that's worth every pleasure on earth to be young at heart? For as rich as you are, it's much, much, much better by far to be young at heart. And if you should survive to 105, just think all you'll derive on just being alive. And here is the best part, you've got a head start. If you are among the very young at heart, young at heart.
Talk about chills down the spine. Ron, I totally had chills down my spine when you started singing, sir.
That was incredible. Many, many applause to you, Ron. I love this church. As our service draws to an end, our service to the world is ready to begin. Please remember to take your order of service with you so you don't miss out on the announcements and reminders inside that order of service. We hope you will stay for our, no, there's no annual picnic. Forgot to talk that out. That was 3 weeks ago. We sometimes cut and paste. Imagine that. It's now, so we welcome your offerings, and it is now time for the offering. When we respond with generosity and care for this beloved community and our hope-filled faith, we give because we know we pick fruit from trees we did not plant. We drink water from wells we did not dig. This is as it should be, so long as we dig and plant for those who come after us. The offering will now be gratefully received. Thank you for all your donations. We began this service with the lighting of the chalice, and now we extinguish the chalice, not to quench the flame, but to return it to our individual hearts, strengthened by this time spent together so that we can share our light with the world. Please rise in body and spirit and join your voices with mine. We extinguish this flame, but not the light of truth, the warmth of community, or the fire of commitment. These we carry in our hearts until we are together again. And now remain standing for our sung blessing and benediction. Remember to smile and twinkle your eyes at one another on that third verse. Life is short, and we do not have much time to gladden the hearts of those who travel this way with us. So be swift to love, and make haste to be kind, and sing, make music, and sing. Go in peace, and make a difference.
Yeah.